All right, in this video, we're going to learn how to write equations in point-slope form. So here are the notes for point-slope form. This is the practice that you'll try on your own to ensure that you gain the understanding needed to be successful on the quiz and test. All right, so let's review what is point-slope form. That's the form of a linear equation that can be written when we're given 1 point and the slope. Point-slope form, okay, we have to be given a point and we have to know the slope. So y minus y1, the y1 is the second number in an ordered pair, times m, which is our slope, equals times x minus x1. x1 is the first number in our ordered pair. Please make sure that you label x1 and y1 when you're doing this so that you don't confuse or flip-flop the x and y. That is a very common mistake. Notice that the x1 comes second, the y1 is first. So we have our slope-intercept, which is y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope, same letter we use here, and b is the y-intercept. So this is what you would have learned and how you would have practiced writing equations in 7th accelerated or pre-algebra. This is also relates more back to 4.1 notes. Then we have our standard form. ax plus by is equal to c. Special thing to note here is that the a, so the coefficient to the x, must be a positive whole number. So we're going to address that here in a little bit because a must be a positive whole number once we rearrange it to standard form. Then finally, we have our point-slope form where we have the slope and our points with our ordered pair, x1 and y1. Okay, so let's see what this looks like in a test situation or on our practice. There is a line on a coordinate plane. The slope is 3. It passes through the point 4, 2. So 4 is our x, 2 is our y. Okay, point-slope form, so we're going to set it up as y minus something is equal to something times x minus something. I did color code everything for you. So notice the slope, our m is equal to 3. So that's going to go here. This is our x1 and y1. So if you don't want to color code, please make sure you label the point x and y so that you plug it into the correct spot. Because notice the 2 is your y value and it's associated with the y. 4 is your x value. It's associated with the x. Notice that our ordered pair is positive, but once we plug it into a point-slope form, there's now a negative or a minus symbol in front of it. So simplified, it would be y minus 2 equals 3 times x minus 4, and that is a linear equation in point-slope form. Now, if we need to rearrange that into slope-intercept form, which is a very common skill that you will use throughout the rest of this unit and beyond, to rearrange it to slope-intercept form, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this parentheses, the coefficient in the parentheses. So we're going to get 3x. Then we're going to do 3 times negative 4, and we get negative 12. And then we still have y minus 2. Now we're not quite to slope-intercept form because the y needs to be by itself. So y minus 2, we're going to add 2 to both sides so that the y is by itself. And we get y is equal to 3x minus 10. Now we have the equation in slope-intercept form. Now finally, we're going to rearrange this to standard form. So we need to take this 3x and move it to the other side of the equal sign using inverse operations. So we would subtract 3x from both sides. And now we have negative 3x plus y is equal to negative 10. But note that standard form, the a must be positive and a whole number, not just a whole number like we have negative 3. So to make this a positive coefficient, we're going to multiply the entire equation by negative 1. So we now have 3x minus y, because negative 1 times a positive y is negative y. equals 10 because negative 1 times negative 10 is equal to 10. So now we have this in standard form. So let's try another one. Example number 2, there is a line on a coordinate plane. The slope is negative 4. It passes through the point negative 5, 1. First, we're going to write it in point slope form. Y minus a number equals something times x minus another number. So here we color code everything again. Label this x1 and y1 in case you don't want to color code. Note that this negative 5 is going to be plugged in here with the y, the 1 here with the x, and our slope is negative 4. Be sure to account for the signs. Here, because I have y minus a negative 5, that's going to simplify to a positive 5, because whenever we subtract a negative, it becomes a positive. Then we have equals negative 4, the slope, times x minus 1. The 1 was positive, so we just plugged it in and left it changed it to negative, or used it as the formula, x minus 1. All right, now we're going to rearrange that to slope-intercept form. So we're going to distribute. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. And then y plus 5 is equal to negative 4x plus 4. To change this to slope-intercept, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, and we get y is equal to negative 4x minus 1. Now we have it in slope-intercept form, meaning we solved for y. Then finally we have standard form. So we have to take this equation and rearrange it to standard form, meaning the x term, the term with the x, needs to be over on the same side as the y and listed first, with a as a positive whole number. So this one's going to be a little bit easier. We're just going to add 4 to both sides, and we get 4x plus y is equal to negative 1. The coefficient to my x is a positive whole number. So that's it. I'm done. Okay, example number 3. Now we have a line that has a slope of 3, passes through the point negative 3, negative 4. To put this into point slope form, there's my color coding. I'm going to plug in the negative 4 and the negative 3, and here's the 3. Please note that I did put the negative 4 and the negative 3 inside parentheses so that you would see the double negative. A negative times a negative is going to give you the positive. Just like here, negative, negative is going to become positive. So this is your point slope form. You generally will not see it with a negative and then a negative parentheses, so be careful that you simplify it. Now we are going to rearrange it into slope-intercept form. So we're going to distribute the 3, get 3x. 3 times a positive 3 is a positive 9. Then you have y plus 4. So y plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 9. To get it into slope-intercept form, I need to solve for the y, so get the y by itself. Subtract 4 from both sides. Y is equal to 3x plus 5. Now I have it in slope-intercept form. Then to rearrange this to standard form, I need to take this 3x and move it to the other side. So I subtract 3x from both sides. Negative 3x plus y is equal to 5. I am not allowed to have a negative a term if I'm in standard form, so I multiply the entire equation by negative 1, meaning I will flip the sign of all 3 terms. So now I have 3x minus y equals negative 5. And that is my equation in standard form. Question number 4. There is a line on a coordinate plane. The slope is 1, passes through the point 7, 5. So to put this in point slope form, y minus 5 equals 1, because that's the slope, times x minus 7. You may see it as y minus 5 equals x minus 7. The parentheses could or could not be there. It is equivalent, so it doesn't much matter. Now to rearrange this to slope-intercept form, well, I don't really have to distribute the 1, but I did just to show you consistency. Now I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Y is equal to x minus 2. Notice the 1 is not going to be listed there because it's implied. That's one of our invisible math rules. So y equals x minus 2 is my equation in slope-intercept form. Then to write this in standard form, I subtract x from both sides. I can't have a negative x or a negative a term, so I multiply everything by -1, and I get x minus y is equal to 2. That is it for your point slope form notes. Be sure to complete this practice both on paper and in Canvas to receive your grade.